Exam fear. The CBSE Class 12 exam has been cancelled, but the center must act to secure education. Several anxieties faced by students, parents, and schools have been calmed by the decision to cancel the Central Board of Secondary Education Class 12 examination following a review by the center. Shaken by the core-nature wrought by the second wave of the pandemic, the government had little choice but to act against possible fresh clusters of infection, although that will mean considerably limited opportunities for students. Hopes for predictability in 2021 after the traumatic experience of students all through the last year have been dashed by the emergence of the double mutant variant of the coronavirus that has spread far and wide because of super spreader events. The government and Prime Minister Narendra Modi were obviously anxious to be seen as acting decisively on the examination question after a long phase of dithering in formulating a national response. The decision to cancel the crucial Class 12 public examination and replace it with an objective assessment for certification will help boards of education in the states to move in the same direction. Some pointers to an assessment scheme can be found in the CBSE's submission to the Supreme Court last year, when the pandemic prevented the completion of Class 12 examinations. For students who couldn't take the examination, as in Delhi, the internal practical and project assessment was proposed as a proxy to arrive at results, with an option to improve performance at a subsequent examination. The board must now come up with a model scientific scheme. The decision to cancel the examination in 2021 may have resolved a prickly issue, but the question of national entrance examinations such as NEET and JEE need to be addressed. Importantly, the center must recognize that major factors such as non-availability of enough vaccine doses, absence of a systematic vaccine coverage plan, and poor understanding of where virus variants are spreading contributed to the second wave and may in fact cause a third. For instance, there is better comprehension in Britain of where the variant of concern initially isolated from India, B1 1.617.2, is spreading in that country because it has a robust genome sequencing program. That sharp insight, together with the availability of free and widespread testing, is crucial to stop waves of infections that threaten to hobble the country. The plight of students, which is engaging governments, has to become a top priority. Singapore has just approved mRNA vaccine coverage for children 12 years and older, just as the US regulator FDA has 12 to 15 years old. Britain has thought of 100 extra tuition hours for schools from 2022. There cannot be an interminable wait for vaccines to trickle down to all. The center must take responsibility to provide them to everyone, including students. Embracing children. Speed implementation of relief schemes for children orphaned by COVID-19 is essential. Well begun is not always half done, and in any case, half done is never good enough. The center's response to the Supreme Court that the modalities of the expansive assistance program for children of orphaned by COVID-19 announced by the Prime Minister were yet to be formulated comes as a disappointment. While rightly feted for its announcement of a comprehensive program for the most vulnerable section of the population during the COVID-19 pandemic, children, the center didn't lay down procedural formalities for implementation. It is clear from the National Commission for Protection of Child Rights submission in the Supreme Court that nearly 10,000 children are in need of immediate care and protection. They include children aged between 0 and 17 years orphaned or abandoned during the COVID-19 pandemic since 2020. The total was 9,346 children who have been affected, including 1,742 children who lost both parents, 7,464 who have lost one parent, and 140 who have been abandoned from March 20 to May 29, 2021. It further told the Apex Court that these children run a high risk of being pushed into trafficking and the flesh trade. There is thus no doubt that time is of the essence here. Given the urgency of rescuing these children, the government cannot dawdle over figuring out implementation strategies. A swift laying down of processes and monitoring mechanisms to kickstart rescue and relief, besides undertaking the continuing process of Estimating beneficiaries is needed. Children have little or no agency of their own and are still dependent on adults to get by, and the disruption of that COVID-19 has wrought on their lives is devastating. The experience of states that sprang to the assistance of children orphaned by the Indian Ocean tsunami can be factored in. They were embraced into the safety net of the social security system, and funds were placed in a trust for them for use when they reach a certain age. While the plans announced under the PM CARES Fund include this and are far more expansive, looking at funding schooling, higher education, even health insurance, a promise is nothing if not fulfilled. The responsibility of the government now is to go the full mile to ensure that these benefits reach every children fitting the criteria, besides making sure that the children are not exploited with an eye on the eventual bounty. Several states have announced their child care packages on similar lines too, with some setting up monitoring committees to ensure implementation. Sincere implementation through committed staff and using existing systems such as 1098 for periodic identification of children in need would be the cornerstones of such a project, especially at a time when the onslaught of COVID-19 is far from over.